the Women Unleashed podcast. Join us as we share with you the fun, confronting, wild, fucked up, epic, and raw side of being a woman in today's world. Nothing is off limits. Allow yourself to be inspired to be unleashed.
We acknowledge that we are recording our podcast on the traditional country of the Turrbal and Yagara people and pay respect to their elders past and present. We acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and contribution they make to this community.
Welcome back to the Women Unleashed podcast. It's Britt and Jess here.
Your sidekick?
My sidekick. And today we are going to talk about money stories.
Money, 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 money.
Money!
Who didn't think of that song when we said money? That's what I want to know.
You know what I thought also? Like, you're as good at dad jokes as I am.
I am. Oh, I'm proud of it though. And you know
You
my
should
favourite
be.
jokes in the whole wide world?
What is?
The Bon jokes at Christmas time.
Oh, really?
They're the best dad jokes that you can possibly get your hands on, people. I save mine. I take photos. They light up my life.
Who do you share them with mostly?
My family, and I will actually put them on my social media because I feel like everybody should enjoy them and everybody should get a little lame giggle in their day.
Yeah. I mean, it's free, right? Like, joy is
seriously?
free.
Like, they crack me up. Yeah. Love the
So,
lameness.
I did not know that about you. I'm so glad I know that now. It's awesome. Alrighty, money stories. We've got them. You've got them. Everyone's got them. And probably the less you have, the better you are at earning money, I would say.
Hang on, say that again.
The less money stories you have, the better you are at earning money.
Oh, good. Yes. I thought you said the opposite way around. I was like, hang on a minute.
Huh, well, I should be rich. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. What is it? What's a money story to you, Jess?
To me, money story to me is any opinion that you have about money. And this could be good or bad, by the way, perceived good or bad, little elephant ears, rabbit ears, good or
Quotation
bad.
marks. You can tell you've worked with kids a lot.
Rabbit or elephant ears. So good or bad. So there's a lot of, for me, I've noticed only very recently, and I'll share the book that I'm reading soon if anybody wants to work through it.
We can tag it in the post about it. What is the book called?
It's called Making Money Like a Badass.
Cool.
So
By, do you remember who?
no,
Okay, well, we'll put it in the notes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And love her approach. She's really direct. And it's really got me thinking. And I know that I've had crap there around money. I know that I have. I just didn't think there was so much. and I laugh about it, but I also find it quite heartbreaking that I have so much shit around it because that's obviously the reason for a lot of my situation right now. So, or past situation.
Yeah, and look, you run your own business, earning six figures. Like, you're not, like, your stories are to a point where you can at least do that. Right?
Yes. Thank
a lot
God.
of people can't do that.
True.
Yeah,
That is true.
Don't beat yourself up, but it's also like when you want to take it to the next level, you then, what becomes visible to you are the stories you couldn't see before that were limiting you.
What a great way of putting it. You're
Yeah.
exactly right. That's a beautiful way of putting it. I think that relates to so many different scenarios in our life that could relate to relationships as well when we don't have it and then we decide we want it, right? Or the
Yes.
stories that hold us back. So,
Can I just say something about that?
yes.
Like, if you think you're going to work on yourself so that you can be in a relationship, one, like, okay, yeah, go do some work so you can actually be in a relationship. But there's a certain amount of work that will only get done inside of a relationship.
Word.
And that has kept me inside my relationship in a few times when I'm having a breakdown. I'm like, oh my God, I've got to stay. There's no way else. I'm going to break through this. If I run now, I've got to wait for the next relationship for this to come up, and fuck no.
I could seriously, I just want to shake pom-poms and like
Fangirl it. Woo!
yeah, you're exactly right. There's no other way of expressing it.
Yeah,
than what
and
you said.
dealing with it.
Yeah, word.
Cool. Okay, so same thing
feel ya.
in money, right? Like once you get to one level, then all the more stories come up. And
Yeah, and you notice it, and I think that's what's coming up for me recently. So yes, I want to buy the holiday home in Italy, and yes, I want my dream home in Australia, and yes, I want the things. I want the things that I want, and I want to travel a lot, and I want all of these things. And then we need to look at, well, why is that not present? And then I start looking at my money stories and I figure out, whoa, there's some judgment. Whoa, there's some stories there. My God, do I have them?
You got some judgy pants on, Jess?
Oh, gosh, I'm so judgy. And I didn't realize to the extent of it. And I also didn't realize until only this week how much my self-worth is wrapped up in my money as well. So... and this is something that I wouldn't have realized outside of a relationship. I only realized it inside of a relationship that, well, when I decide to have a baby and I'm not earning as much money or maybe none, well, I'm not worthy of love. Instantly that thought has come into my mind in the last week. Like, how do I justify my existence in this relationship then if I'm not earning money? Oh, wowzer, is that such a entrapped view? And I don't want to show up as that scared person in that situation either. So, wow, I've got some story breaking to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, I think you nailed it. And like I would have said the same thing. A money story is a belief or an opinion, a view that you have, and you might not even see it as a view. It's just how it is about money or people with money. Yeah, mine often around people with money. I'm such a fuckhead. Seriously.
At least we know it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, like, I think you just shared also how do you know when you've got a money story? Like, you behave in a certain way, or give us an example.
I will give you an example. So I could be in a conversation with people, and luckily for me, I have a beautiful, diverse group of peeps around me, and they could be talking about how their friends have just bought a $3 million home in Sydney, or they could say that they are about to buy another investment property and they've already got 5. And I'm instantly in my judge mode and I am saying, well, then they're this type of person. So
thoughts, you're not saying it out loud.
No,
yeah.
I'm not telling them people, but I'm thinking to myself, well, they probably don't, they're probably quite shallow. They probably don't prioritize connection and love. So then that shows up.
Jesus.
I know, isn't it bad? And let's
Not in the world
be
of bad and wrong, but all right. But
yeah, but does it serve me? And no, it doesn't serve me. So yes,
No.
it's something that needs to change, that I want to change and transform. But you know, let's just be really clear that whatever we believe about money has come from an event or a situation in our past, and that's why there's no right or wrong about our beliefs. They come from somewhere, and that's just the reality. So then we get to decide here and now, does it serve us?
correct. You just landed on it, or you got it from your parents.
Yep.
Yep.
That old chestnut. It's from our
Now,
childhood.
did
Bang,
you-
bang.
Did you finish the list of like how you know when you're
It could be a long list, Britt. And, you know, I would think that, yeah, they don't prioritize love and connection. They are not grounded people. They think they're better than everybody else. So then that means they think they're better than me. And whoa, that's confronting for me. So then I don't like them first because they probably don't like me because I don't have like my really rich mansion yet. So there's a whole lot of worry and fear there around myself getting judged. So I better do the judging first, right?
Yeah, get in
And there's also a story there around money is used to manipulate people. So, you know, I have seen the experience of my mum struggled for money. She worked 3 jobs when Dad left, and Dad never helped out financially. And I saw just how horrible that was. And so I see, well, money is a struggle, and also men will not.
Oh, like if money wasn't around, then you wouldn't have the struggle. Like if you didn't need money, then so it's all money's fault, really.
It is. Money takes away love and connection, because guess what happened to me when I was a child? Well, we went bankrupt and everything got taken away. So we lost our home, we lost our cars, we lost our boat, we lost our businesses, but they were my parents. We lost absolutely everything. Every single thing. And my parents were doing really, really well, but we went bankrupt.
Yeah.
So
it's all the money's fault.
I see how money has completely ruined my family, made my mum's life miserable, and my dad uses it to manipulate my mum, so to speak, to try and win her back. So there's a whole world there. There's a whole world.
Wow, Jess.
And so I can only see the relationship side of it when I'm in a relationship, which has become very clear recently that, well, if my partner earns more money than me, then he could use it against me, and then I could end up with nothing.
Same story.
Same
as
story.
Your childhood.
Yep, same. Just on repeat. And so that's why I've always stored cash. I've always stored money, and I've always been determined to earn more than my partner, like so determined.
Yeah, wow.
Because I've wanted to stay safe. I've wanted to be in control. I know I don't want somebody to control me with money. I don't want somebody to tell me I can spend that and I can't spend that, because that equals manipulation to me, because that's what I viewed it as when I was a child through my child lens. So
yeah.
There's a lot there. We see a lot.
Yeah, there is actually a lot for you to deal with, Jess. It's great. And whenever you are not sure what there is to deal with, you can just come back to this podcast and listen to it.
I can. I am going to listen to this
How
over
good
and
is
over
that?
again. Yeah. So what about for you though? Don't leave me in the dark hole.
I know. But like, I just wanted to give you that opportunity.
Thank you.
To empty out. How do I know I have a money story? Oh man, I jam up, like jam up. But like I don't communicate properly. I will sometimes feel sick. I just sort of shut down.
Is that with people when they're talking about money?
No, it'll be, if I'm talking about money with like my partner or maybe with people, I'll avoid talking about money.
Right.
Like I avoid, how much you pay for X, or, what was that worth? Or I don't ask those questions. Now I am, because I'm dealing with my money stories. But yeah, like the other day, my partner was like, so we'd been spending more than our allotted expenses for a couple of months. And he was like, so I've just doubled it and scheduled that for the next payment into the joint account. And I was like, oh. Like, I just felt so sick because I haven't been being 100% responsible for my I've not been being responsible for my finances. I've got lots of savings, and so since I've ramped down the hours at work, I can still cover my bills with that money. But like, just other expenses and Carlos, the horse, like I just, keep using my savings for that. And so when he said that, like we're doubling it, I was like, I can't afford that, and I knew I was going to have a reaction. I was having a reaction, so I just kind of breathed through it and just I went, okay, I said to him, I'm having a reaction about this, and he was just joking and jovial. He wasn't joking that he did the double
He
thing.
was dead set serious.
He was serious. But yeah, so, and then I was like, okay, well, Britt, I said to myself, okay, you don't know the what so yet. You haven't worked out what your new pay slip is for 2 days a week. And for everyone who may not be aware, and I probably haven't been explicitly shared, like I'm working 2 days a week for a company, and then I work 5 days a week for myself. And I've just started doing that. So I'm learning how to make money for myself. So I don't have any other income right now apart from those 2 days. And I didn't know what the like post-tax fortnightly like amount would be yet, because I haven't got the first pay slip. So I had to like estimate it. But at that point when he said that, I was like, okay, like after about a minute or two later, I went, okay, you don't know what it is, so don't react to it right now. You actually don't know what it is. And so then the next day when I did the numbers, I went, okay, like, you know, I'm not saving for anything else. I can make it, but I'm not saving for anything else, or affording any extras.
So
Like-
what was the money story behind the reaction?
Well, it's like I'm not enough. And I guess how I dealt with it and I'm not sure if I'm even clear on the money story, right? But I then started crying and my partner was there and I was wanting to say, like, to blame him. And it sounded, he said, you know, you sounded really convincing, but I just, you know, I knew that you had something to deal with and I just let you be with it. So then I howled and cried like I was birthing or giving up something. You know, like the neighbors came out of their houses and were like, are you okay? Like, is your partner okay? Like, I was that loud. And what was there was just this like sadness, this really deep sadness that I have let myself, from what I'm capable of, I've let it get to this.
Okay.
Like, and it's not bad, but I'm like, this is not what I'm capable of. And I was just really sad that, like, I've allowed myself to be in this position, because life doesn't have to be like that.
Okay.
And so and after crying, I was just like, okay with it. Okay with exactly how it was.
Okay.
So I think what's there around the sadness is just like the story or confronting the reality of, I was living in an imaginary world around like, well, yeah, I've got money. Like, I'm okay, when really, like, I'm not okay. And money, maybe money means like you're okay. You know what I mean? Like the story, like, I'm okay. I've got money. I'm okay. I've got money. If you don't have money, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, because when I was a kid, like, I was a saver, because saving money meant I could get out of a parent's house. I could leave, you know, which is like what I did. So that's cool to sort of get that. Like, I'm okay if I've got money.
Yeah.
If I don't have money, I'm not okay. Like,
I can get that. I totally understand that. I think that'll make sense to a lot of women in particular, because often money equals safety and security, right? And freedom too. So it's the freedom to get out of any scenario. Where I think for what I'm feeling right now is that money is the freedom aspect and the security aspect, because we don't necessarily have the physical strength to get ourselves out of any scenario. So for us, we rely on our mind and money as the access to freedom or a different scenario. That's what it is for me anyway. So money's definitely a security thing for me too. And I've definitely, a lot of women that I've spoken to in the past they've expressed that as well, because it's the tangible stimulus that we use for choice in this world, in this reality that we live in. So that makes a lot of sense. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. I know I do.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for asking those questions. I've got a question for you. Have you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
I have, only recently, in the last 12 months.
Okay. Did you get that money wasn't real?
I did, more so through that book. Yes. I got that it's not real. And what's the other thing that I got? I really got how to use money to your advantage, and how important that is for choice, I suppose, and diversification and all of that jazz. But I did get more so that money is not real. I think I've still got more to go in really embodying that and how that truly lands. But that door definitely opened for my mind.
Yeah, that's
good.
That's awesome. I, a couple of weeks ago, realised that there's a difference between, and I'd known it but not discovered it, like like being an employee, you trade your time for money versus being self-employed. Like you make money. Like, are you not trading your time for money? Like you're making it by like combining two things and making a service or making a product. And when you sell that product in that moment, you've made that money. It's not this time trading thing. And so that's shifted my story, a story potentially around having to trade my time for money. It's like, no, it's about the action that I take to make the money. And only in that moment is it made, because in the next moment it's not made.
Interesting. Okay. So whereas when you're an employee, you're focused on the time, like literally time in, time out.
Equals money.
Time equals money. You clock in, you know you're doing the time, you know what it equals to. It's very clear cut. Whereas when you're employed, which we both are, when you're self-employed, then it's action equals money. So it's a different mindset on what you need to focus on and what you're doing to create it.
Yeah, and not all your action will equal money. It's only in that moment that it's made. And in that moment, it's just made. Yeah, it's just really,
Yeah, I can get that. I get it. Yep.
So, there you go. Have a look at your money stories. Because, also something I do, I don't think I covered this. Like, I will also get super judgy. Like, that's when I know I've got money stories. Like, I will just start spinning the tales. Like, they've done this and that, or they're a bad person, or they did it unethically, or whatever. The judgment train will just start. So,
and I love when people say that they're lucky, right? When somebody has a whole world of money, and it's just not possible. People work really, really hard behind the scenes. It takes a lot. It really does take a lot of commitment. And I see that, and I appreciate that, even though I know I still have the money stories about them. But yeah, it's interesting. Have a look at the money stories and see where your self-worth might be clued up in money, like it is with me. So do you have the money that you want, and do you have freedom within money? And how much is there? Because that can give us a really good indication of, well, do we value ourselves? And I know there's one line.
Yeah, the money.
Yeah, and one of the lines in the book, Making Money Like a Badass, is, I love money because I love myself. So I've been saying that to myself on repeat and just really, seeing how that feels in my body, because it'll be different. To say I love money, oh God, does it get a reaction?
Yeah, you can't even say the sentence, like the whole thing.
There's reactions there, like, ugh, that's icky, or ugh, I don't want to be that person, or ugh, people will think I'm this, and God, there's so much in it.
So much, Jess. All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut it there.
Cut it.
These money stories can keep going on and on and on. I'm also really looking forward to hearing about the other side of it, once you kind of work through them and what your experience is like. So, yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and have fun sharing what you have gotten for yourself out of listening. Our goal is for our content to reach as many people as possible and become the #1 women empowerment podcast in Australia. Our call to action is that you contribute to your women in your life by sharing this episode, subscribing to our podcast, and giving us a 5-star rating and leaving a review. Bye for now.